Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of my twin flame story week by week. I believe this is episode 19. And I always have to think about it for a second. And it's funny, I did hesitate, but notably I hesitated not because I didn't know the number, but because I have two different camera lights shining in my face at different depth levels. And it was like for a moment, my right eye kind of went cloudy because it was just like so much light shining in. So that's why I hesitated for just a second. I'm here with Grogu and hot green tea. And look what I have. I have my mascot with me. I didn't get the magnetic Grogu because I figured I move around too much. There's the ones that sit on your shoulder with a magnet. And I didn't get that one because I do move around too much. And I figured I would just knock him down. Not intentionally, but unintentionally knock him down. So I've got my Jedi power. I've got my Jedi power in my tumbler. I've got my Jedi power here. So Grogu is going to sit with me while I'm doing my vlog because I believe in the power of the Jedi. I believe in, I'm a baby Jedi still learning. So, Jedis know that it's all about balance. Without balance, you can't attain your inner power. So that's what I'm always striving to do, is striving to have that inner balance so that I can attain more inner power. So again, green tea, gonna take a sip here. Super hot, I just filled this one up. Okay, if you're new to my channel, thanks for subscribing below. Click on the bell, scroll up to all for all notifications. Thanks for giving the video a thumbs up. And guess what I'm going to talk about? I'm going to talk about my past life. I'm going to talk about my love life in depth, but not really. Just reflections, kind of reflections on my love life. But first, you know what I want to start with? I want to start with a comment. I want to start with a comment that one of you made on one of my vlogs. I think it may have been vlog number 5. And the only reason is because I saw it this morning and I think it was just someone who recently watched vlog number 5. And I thought it was a rather funny comment. And I'll explain why in a minute. So if you guys have any questions to me about my personal life and my twin flame journey, if I feel comfortable answering them, I will on the vlog. So you can post those in the comment section below if you have questions for me about my life, my twin flame journey life. And like I said, if I feel comfortable, I will answer the questions on a vlog. So my hair is super fluffy today. I don't know why. Some days it's really fluffy. Some days it's not so fluffy, but I'm grateful to have a full head of hair. I don't know why I just said that. It's just I love my hair. So, it's one of those things. I'm glad to have it. So the comment in the most recent comment, which was on, I believe, like I said, vlog number 5, was, did you end up with your twin flame? Now let's break that down. Did you end up with your twin flame? And here's why I felt that was a really funny question / comment. Because the question, did you end up with, means that my life is over. It's like a funny thing because usually did you end up with or did you end up at, it usually indicates that there's some kind of choice that has a time frame, that has a timetable. So for example, if you got accepted to UCLA and you got accepted to Berkeley, the question might be, did you end up going to UCLA or did you end up going to Berkeley? Meaning you started college this year and it was a timetable. There was an end result that needed to be had. Obviously, most of you know that the twin flame story is a lot more open-ended than that, right? It's a lot more open-ended. There is really no end date unless if you expire. So I'm not dead yet. Just to let you know, I'm not a ghost bringing these vlogs to you. I am alive. I think I'm alive at least. Everything's about perception, but I believe I'm alive. and living this life. And no, I'm not dead yet. And so I think the better question to ask is, am I currently with my twin flame? And the answer is no to that. Have I been in contact or recently with my twin flame in the past months? I have been with my twin flame. I'm currently not with my twin flame. I would go into more detail about my twin flame. Like, I'm pretty sure he watches some of my videos at least. I'm almost 100% certain of that. Number two, he's a very private person, and I do not want to divulge like anything that might make him, think that I am giving something away about his own life, because he's a really private person. So to that end, I mean, there are obviously reasons why we are not together right now. And I don't know, because I'm not dead yet. So chances are we might be together. We might not be together. Who knows, right? Who knows? So I think that when we are on this twin flame journey, we can get really caught up in timing. We can get really caught up in like an artificial deadline, if you will. Like, if you've been on the journey. So I personally have been on the twin flame journey for about 3.5 years. And I can certainly attest to the fact that at various points in the past 3.5 years, I have created artificial deadlines, if you will. And I set up those artificial deadlines based on nothing else other than my brain. In past vlogs, so if you're brand new to the vlogs, I would say go back and watch, 1 through 18. But in past vlogs, I do speak a little bit about the timing of it all and divine timing and whatnot. And I was going to say something else there. It slipped my mind just now. But I think we artificially place these like parameters surrounding time and divine timing and when it should happen and how it should happen. And sometimes, this is what I was going to say, sometimes it's actually based on some angelic guidance that you've been getting or messages from your twin flame in the 5D spiritual realm directly from your twin flame themselves. But sometimes we impose these artificial deadlines just based on various bits of information. And so those are just artificial deadlines, right? So if you're alive, then technically speaking, there's still an open end to things, right? That any deadline we put upon our own twin flame journey is just an artificial deadline that we self-impose, right? We're self-imposing that deadline. So there is no such thing, unless if you're dead again, of like, oh, I have to be with my twin flame by this date. Okay. You could be with your twin flame the day before you die. There you go. That would mean you were together. But then if that happened, you would have to come back from the afterlife and tell somebody, hey, I was with my twin flame before I died. So, or, unless if somebody actually knew that. And so I think that as you mature on your journey, as you surrender on your journey, and I can tell you this is certainly my case, that for me, it doesn't matter anymore. Like it truly does not matter anymore. It's like when you enter into full-on surrender mode, full-on surrender, when you trust in God, you trust in universal source, you also trust in divine timing. And as you trust in divine timing, you let go of this notion of earth timing. You completely let it go. It just does not matter anymore. And I know for some of you listening out there, that is really hard to believe. I get it. I get that for many of you who are not yet in that space, it can be very triggering for somebody in a video on YouTube who's also on the twin flame journey, to say this to you. I get it. I was there many times for many years. Not many years, right? It's been 3.5 years. But in years past, right? In years past, if somebody said to me, yeah, it doesn't really matter if you're with your twin flame in the 3D in this lifetime, timing really doesn't matter, I would have gone off the rails. I would have been like, what are you talking about? Heathen. I would have just been really upset. So I get it if you're upset. I totally get it. But as you mature on the journey, you really do reach this point of total surrender. And total surrender equals total peace. And when you enter this space of total surrender, total peace, it just does not matter anymore. It's like the universe is going to do what the universe is going to do. Your twin flame is going to do what your twin flame is going to do. God is going to do with you what God will do with you. So why worry about it? It's not going to matter whether you worry or you place artificial timelines down. All it's going to do is make you completely miserable. And I say that from experience that, when I would set these artificial timelines and then the time would pass, I would get into a very turmoiled state. And that turmoiled state wasn't doing anything good for anybody. It wasn't good for me. It wasn't good for my twin flame. It wasn't good for anybody. So you are going to move through what you need to move through. And if timing and setting deadlines is really important for you, then that's what you need to do at this moment. But ideally, there will come a time at which you do not need to do that anymore. And it's a nice release. It's a beautiful sense of freedom from holding on to things too strongly or from trying to control things that are beyond your control. So let's switch gears now. I hope that answered the question/comment of the person who commented. Let's switch gears. So what I want to talk to you about is my deep reflection on my past love lives, plural, I guess. I guess it's one love life, but different loves. So I guess that would make it plural. I don't know. So I want to give a shout out to my girl, Astrology Wonder Girl, or maybe it's Wonder Girl Astrology. I don't know. I mix it up. Her name is Brittany. She's been my coach since January. Please check out her channel. Astrology Wonder Girl or Wonder Girl Astrology. I don't know. I'm mixing it up. I'm being dyslexic. Her name is Brittany. She's awesome. So I was watching her full moon in Scorpio video and her commentary there within of that video. And it really triggered something in me positive trigger. Yay. It brought to me a huge aha moment epiphany. And I want to share that with you. Aha moments, epiphanies are like amazing to have when you're like, oh, I see the pattern. Okay. All right. I'm getting this now. So as I mentioned, I don't know when I mentioned this, where I mentioned it somewhere in the last week that I have 2 major planets in my birth chart in Scorpio. And I think I mentioned in that video too that I really like Scorpios. I enjoy Scorpios. I've dated a lot of Scorpios. I just feel very attracted to that energy. Well, it's no wonder. I have the planet Venus and the planet Jupiter in Scorpio in my birth chart. Now, Venus, as we know, is a planet of love, and Jupiter expands whatever it happens to be next to. So Venus, the planet of love, in expansion with Jupiter in Scorpio would bring me a lot about my love life and how I perceive love life in the energy of Scorpio. Now, my girl Brittany shed some light on this. And it wasn't for me, it was for the collective because of this full moon in Scorpio. And she spoke about the energy of Scorpio is what we're trying to move away from, moving toward the energy of Taurus because of the nodes. Because currently, the South node is in Scorpio and the North node is in Taurus. So what we are moving toward in what we're learning is to move toward the North in Taurus, North node in Taurus, and move away from the energy of Scorpio. And she had mentioned love relationships. And it was fascinating because I had never looked at my particular situation of love relationships in this manner. However, it rings so true to what I've done up until present moment. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about, that I find so incredibly fascinating, is she mentioned, and please go watch her video, but she mentioned something about Scorpio being like in love and romance, right? Being very like passionate and sexual and kind of tumultuous in a way, like tumultuous for the good and for the bad. It's kind of like that very hot, passionate romance that is like really good when it's good and really bad when it's bad. And it's this up and down and these beginnings and endings. And it might come with like, and this is my interpretation, it might come with a lot of breakups in between, the relationship. And then it's like, getting back together and having makeup sex and things like that. So it's just this relationship that is full of ups and downs and turmoil. And when I thought about my relationships in the past, I was like, oh yeah, okay, that totally resonates because my relationships exactly like that. And in addition to that, she said, it usually means that it's a relationship that starts very fast. And it's probably a relationship that starts like with sex. And so then you are in it very deeply before you're ready to be in it very deeply because you haven't yet looked at the red flags, seen the person's flaws, thought things through adequately, created a solid foundation so that when you do see the red flags, you can get out before it's too late. And that brought me back to like the way all of my relationships had started. Now, I'm saying for the most part, right? So I'm thinking of more my adult relationships that were more long-term in nature. And I would say for the most part, these relationships started like that, like in a Scorpio way. Very passionate, a lot of emotion, very sexual, very fast. And where both of us were in way too deep before we could recognize the red flags or maybe like the potentials. And it doesn't have to be like red flags. For me, it personally was in many of the relationships, but it doesn't have to be like red flags that are really bad. It just could be incompatibility or lack of value matching where you need to have values that match, life direction that actually matches. Like those things are really important for a long-term relationship. And when it does not match, that's when you encounter a lot of problems. And when you enter a relationship too quickly, too passionately, with too much like romance and sex before you get to know the person, you're too deeply involved emotionally to sometimes stop it when it needs to be stopped. So it was like super fascinating to me because I thought back even to my twin flame relationship. And I remember the first conversation my twin flame and I had over the phone about potentially dating. And it was interesting because my spidey sense knew I needed to do things differently. My spidey sense told me you need to take things slow, form a friendship, get to know the person, and then move into a more intimate relationship. So my spidey sense knew this. It's just that I had never practiced anything like that before in a very formal way, if you will, a concentrated manner where I was mindful in romantic relationships. So I didn't have the muscle. I wasn't able to create the muscle in order to move forth with that when I met my twin flame. Now, what was super interesting is that when I presented this idea to my twin flame, when we had a first phone call together, he said the complete opposite. He was like, no, I don't think I can start things slow with you. No, I don't think I can be just friends with you. And of course, I had no idea that this was a twin flame connection. I had no idea of the strength of the connection. I just didn't know anything. You don't know what you don't know. I think perhaps he had more of an attraction, if you will, in the beginning. And so because I didn't have that in the way beginning before we ever, got together, I didn't recognize or know that twin flames have this very strong chemistry. So I didn't know that. But when he was saying to me, like, yeah, I don't think I can do this slow, I was like, what are you talking about? Like, that makes no sense whatsoever. We're like just having a phone conversation. How do you even know this? And so I did not think about that conversation until I saw Brittany's video, and I was like, oh my God, that is so crazy. Because in the first phone conversation that I had with my twin, and we had other face-to-face conversations, but not about dating, of course, right? Not about seeing each other. The first phone conversation I had with my twin flame was actually what I needed to learn in relationships. So I was right on, if you will, like I was right on the right path, on the right track of learning to be more like Taurus starting a relationship. And that's what Brittany had explained. Like Taurus is a very earthy, it's a fixed earth sign. So it's a very slow energy, methodical energy. It's a very independent, if you will, energy that doesn't need a relationship, might want a relationship, but might want a relationship that is stable, not an on again, off again, super passionate and jealous and possessive and all of that. So I thought it was super fascinating because many twin flames start off as the former, not the latter, right? Many twin flames start as this like hot and heavy, passionate relationship with a lot of turmoil and ups and downs, and not starting out really slow, formulating a solid friendship first. And I'm not saying this is for everybody, right? Because many of you have maintained friendships with your twin flame. But for some of you, or I would say a major part of you, it's been more of this really passionate romance. So what we are all learning as a collective now, because the South node in Scorpio and the North node in Taurus are still going to be around for quite some time, several months, in fact, if not more. I can't even remember when they entered. I'm thinking they entered around December, and the nodes shift every 18 months. So it's probably not until mid 2023 that they're going to shift again. So we've got quite some time where we're learning to move away from Scorpio energy, learning to move away from the tumultuous shake-up energy of relationships, where it's like this very passionate love affair that doesn't have a lot of solid ground, into something that has more roots, a stronger foundation that is going very slow and not being so erratic. And I really liked that. And I thought to myself, there is some measure of excitement with relationships that are like a Scorpio type of relationship. And I think for many of us, myself included, that was the attraction of that passionate romance, but it's not typically a long-lasting nor healthy romance. And when we can learn to shift into a healthier way of relating, then we can have a more solid foundation upon which to build that relationship, to build a healthy relationship. So, I would like to know if you as well did start your twin flame relationship like fast and furious. Was it fast and furious, or was it slow like the tortoise in the beginning of your twin flame journey? Like, that's what I would like to know, because for me, I know it was the fast and furious type. Even though I said that's not what I wanted, it ended up being what did happen. So that was my learning for this week, guys. I hope you enjoyed that little tidbit. Thanks so much for joining me. Thanks for subscribing to my channel below. Click on the bell, scroll up to all for all notifications. Thanks for giving the video a thumbs up. Thanks for sharing this video with other twin flames. And thank you so much for your support of my YouTube channel. You can buy a book or 2 or 3. You can join a boot camp or meditation. You can also join my group coaching. The link is below. And Grogu and I will see you guys in the next video.